Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your monthly energy report for all 12 signs for the month of October of 2023. Now, this month is very special, not only because it's eclipse month, right? But for the last 6 months, roughly, we've had Pluto square the nodes. And Pluto square the nodes is a course correction at the deepest level, saying, hey, look, you were going in this direction, but the foundation here wasn't exactly solid. These are some things you're going to work on within yourself. So we're going to go over here to teach you these lessons. Okay. This month, Pluto is stationed. Now, not only is it stationed all month, but it's stationed at 27 degrees of Capricorn, which, if you listen to me or many other people by now, you know that that is where the United States of America, Pluto return, is at. And this is the last time that's going to be there for the rest of our lives. Okay. So 27 degrees is just dipping into 27 degrees, and it's going to station right in the middle of the month, right smack 4 days before the eclipse. Okay. So when any planet is stationed, it's the strongest. But lately there's been this feeling in the collective that's like, I feel like something's coming. I feel like something's changing. I feel like something's shifting, and I don't know what. But you can just feel like, yeah, something's gonna happen, right? That something, yeah, there may be something out there. I don't know about this month. You never really know, right? The important thing is not to get caught up on that. The important thing is remember that the real shift is happening within. And Pluto is that, it's just that feeling like something's going to shift. Now, the shift doesn't happen overnight. And that's the thing that we have to watch out for, or rather not get caught up in paying so much attention to that feeling. It's about accepting that feeling and letting that feeling be okay and taking your time, because the ego wants to control it. The ego wants to figure it out. The ego wants to know and how to structure and dress it up and everything. But the universe is really teaching us, especially right now, that that is not how this new co-creative energy is going to work in this new world. The more you try to control things, the more you try to figure it out in your mind, that feeling, the more you're just going to drive yourself crazy. And the more you're actually going to get caught up in the spell of the direction that you don't want to go. We are really having all of our deepest fears exposed right now. So, in order to really move into this next phase, I call this month "All Is Revealed" for a reason, because this is going to really reveal the light at the end of the tunnel. However, depending on where you're at or what your perception or your mindset is, will depend upon how you see that light at the end of the tunnel. Because this chapter is bringing in a whole new set of rules. It's bringing a whole new set of circumstances and a new layer of learning new things. Now, these things can actually be fun and exciting if you're willing to be in that co-creative space. Be willing to let go of the control of what you think it should look like, or what things should be or feel like, and allowing things to teach you, like, there's deeper levels being excavated here, and these deeper levels are teaching us the deeper aspects of what we even really love, what we're passionate about, what we want to do, and what we're capable and able to create. So don't get stuck on like trying to figure out this feeling, because Pluto is very slow. It's very, very right. So you need to allow this feeling to be okay. And this will be the phoenix rising from the ashes. But this month, it's basically stopped. And even when it's moving very slowly. However, the really positive thing that I see about this is that for the last 6 months or so, the direction that Pluto has been going in has been going in the same direction as the nodes, because the nodes go counterclockwise. And because Pluto's been going retrograde, it's been going that direction. Now that Pluto is going to go direct, it's going to go in the opposite direction of the nodes, which means that now we're coming into the clearing of this energy. We're coming into the clearing of this chapter. We're coming into the clearing of being shifted slowly but gradually and deeply, fundamentally, into this new chapter, into this new life. The big fundamental key that you have to remember is not to run away from it, to embrace it and allow it. and the running away is the triggering, is the control. It's important to go within and feel those triggers, feel the controls, and not let them control you, right? Because then what's going to happen? You're going to run away from it, or you're going to make some kind of, permanent decision based on a temporary emotion, and then you're going to take that action, and you're like, oh crap. Now that I'm thinking straight, oh no, that isn't what I thought, or there was this piece of information missing, or this wasn't blah blah blah, whatever story that we were telling ourselves. So it's really important to do the inner work to sit with these feelings and emotions and not get caught up in the wave, in the tidal wave of emotions that are coming up, because they are very, very, very powerful. All right. Now, not only that, on top of all that, that wasn't enough. We still have 5 planets retrograde. So Pluto will bring it down to 4, and then Saturn, Saturn won't go direct until the beginning of November, but we can look forward to that energy starting to move forward, and things finally starting to really get ready to step into this new energy. All right, we're finishing up the learned lessons from this deep, deep retrograde period, and these eclipses are really popping it off. So these eclipses are now going to activate this more cardinal energy, this more Mars-centered cardinal energy, which is, we're going to be seeing a lot of stuff about war out there, all right, or the war within ourselves, or people trying to band together, for, a lot of anger, a lot of heat, a lot of passion, a lot of intensity. And we got to be careful of getting caught up in that energy too, right? Because, we have people, we see a lot of like people that have given up or giving up, right? Like a lot of homelessness, a lot of people that are just, losing their minds. And that's all centered and controlled through the control dynamics of the ego. All right. So massive, deep ego shifts. But there's also massive opportunities that are presenting themselves. And I'm going to go into each time to share, what you can look out for this particular month. And also, if you'd like to get a reading from me to go deeper into your situation, your life, please feel free to go down to the description box below. I have all the information right there. Or you can go to my Instagram, spiritual_bodybuilder. And I have a Linktree right there and you can book it right there. And we can chat like this one-on-one. And I make a recording. You keep the recording so you can watch it whenever you need to. All right. I'm here to help you guys out and make sure that everyone gets the support that they need as we continue to move on to this bigger levels of responsibility. And we all are, myself included, right? So on the 8th of October, we have Venus coming out of shadow, finally. So at the end of September, we had Venus go through its 3rd and final square to Uranus. A lot of deep learned lessons about the heart, about what we want, about love, about our creativity is finally bursting through the other side, which is right on around the same time where Pluto now goes direct. Hallelujah. But also too, this month of October, it's like Yod City. I think the last time I saw this was in June. But there's maybe 5 or 6 days in October where there are no Yods. And of course, we all know Yods. That's that feeling like, ooh, I don't like it. It doesn't feel good, but I don't know how to put a name into it. I don't know what it means. I don't know. I don't understand it fully. So I need to try to figure it out or control it. Right. And these Yod energies are teaching our deep soul lessons. And finally, our soul really is coming more and more in control. But the ego can still fight it. Okay. We have free will in that sense. So, surrender is the name of the game. This is why we're seeing so much stuff up out there about teaching how to surrender. All right. And allowing things to just be you. We're learning how to go with divine timing as opposed to push. We've now left the energy of competitive nature, right? Of, win-lose scenarios. And we've now come into the first, like the baby just came out of the womb of this new chapter of co-creation on a collective level. So that is now like, hey, let's all work together. We're going to really start to see this early next year when Pluto comes into Aquarius again, where people are going to start to really band together and, like, hey, you have this, I have that. Let's work together. Let's pool resources because all these systems are crashing. They need to crash because we don't need them. And we will see new systems being created and whatnot. But, this is the beginning part of that is saying, hey, do we have the capacity to surrender to this new way of being? Because it is, we've been human doings for too long. Now switching into human beings, do you have the gentleness or the ability to be kind to yourself and to shift your mind into not doing what you think you need to do, that's violating all your boundaries? Are you able to keep your own boundaries and honor yourself and know the universe is going to bring you everything you need? And as that happens, you'll believe in it more. The deeper the faith, the deeper the manifestation. Really, that's how it works. Okay. So on the 9th of October, also, Venus will go into Virgo. Now, Venus comes right out of its shadow and goes right into detriment. So now we have, Pluto that technically turned direct on the United States, Pluto return for its final time. And we have Mars that's in Libra that is in detriment. Now we have Venus that is in Virgo that's in detriment. So all the direct planets are still like unsure. They're not in their strongest point. We're still moving through a lot of unsurety, a lot of fear, a lot of like, I don't really know what to do, where to go. So we still got to sit with stuff. Really, this month is a process of all these planets, right, going over the South Node in Libra. This is clearing out past life stuff. This is clearing out the past. All right. So anything that is unfinished is most likely going to be coming through. And this is going to happen, I believe, on the 19th. Mercury will finally pass the South Node in Libra. And then we'll have Mars heading into Scorpio, which is going to be quite a bit stronger. At that point, it's going to be like, all right, fire is getting lit under my ass again. Let's go. Let's make it happen. And of course, Venus rules Libra. So Venus in Libra is going to be much happier as well. So we're going to go through like quite a transition. You got to hold steady. All right. Because you're not going to really feel it until it's already there. And if you act too quick, you could fuck it up. Okay. So don't get preemptive. Just sit with it. This is a month to really sit with whatever you can, but the eclipses are bound to bring in changes, whether it's within you, whether it's within other people or in the world. Okay. Changes are going to happen, but don't try to jump on top or get ahead of the situations. Sit with it and allow the divine timing to guide you through smoothly. This is really what we're learning how to do. Okay. So on the 14th, we have a solar eclipse at 21 degrees Libra. I want to jump into this here real quick. So on the 14th, first, let's go ahead and pull up. So I like to look at inside degrees. And this gives the numerologic identifier for that particular degree. It's very, very interesting to me, and I want to share with you guys. So Libra 21 degrees, a magician wearing a live snake for a belt. It says a Mobius strip of yes into no into yes. Yes is primarily the eager embrace of self, sense life in a rapture of release. The no is not being able to handle, even remotely, the social repercussions of being viscerally empowered. The further yes is at last being able to embrace unreservedly the self that got lost in the world and the world that got lost in the self. Until this final reckoning, the no wreaks havoc. You thrash around in a frenzy trying to spin away from reflected images and impressions. You just cannot bear to hold still and be pinned by ideas about who you are and who you are not. And elemental power and spiral vortex actions seek to consume all false selves and to become so authentic that each breath of experience is purely there with no interpretive filter whatsoever. This power ultimately brings everybody to the point of no longer putting up with people trapped in shadow frequencies and bursts everything open, or else is willing to die trying. So as you can see, this is a very all or nothing kind of energy, but it's shaking up all the parts of ourselves that maybe we are confused about. Maybe we don't really know who we are, or we get confused between the lines are blurred between the ego and the heart or the higher self, right? So this is where, when I say all will be revealed, especially in the world, okay, we're going to see a lot of people that are just going to be coming out, and just weird, bizarre stuff's going to be happening. With all the depth of, disclosure that's happening right now, weird stuff's going to be happening, and you're going to be feeling pretty weird too. We all are. All right. But the more that you can embrace the weird, get used to it, because we're coming into the age of Aquarius. All right. We're going through a birthing process, or if you'd like, a transformative process, like the cocoon experience, going from a caterpillar to a butterfly. However you want to look at it, however you would like to identify it, things are going to be feeling different, and we have to be okay with different. Now, with the sun and moon here at 21 degrees, Mercury is also exactly opposed to Chiron. And with that going on at 17 degrees, it's going to be the people that are around us that are triggering our own identity, our own who am I, if you will. And this will be about being an American, or being a citizen of the world, like all these different belief systems and maybe disagreements about who we are, where we're going in this world. Because look, the fact is that we all have to coexist, and we are all one at the very core. So why are we all fighting, right? This energy, especially with the next eclipse, that's going to be, well, for my generation, I'd say if you were born between 1977 and 1986, you have Pluto and Chiron right at the spots where we're going to have these two eclipses. So we're going to get hit really, really hard with these energies, and it's making us grow up. It's making us have surrender. But I also think it's having us step into pure and full empowerment, because we are the leaders of this new world, and we need to step up. All right. So when this is conjunction Pluto, this is, speaking your mind, how you feel authentically, and not having no fear, but being able to step fully into your fear and not letting a controller define you anymore. And then, of course, the next one, that's right on top of our natal Chiron, is going to be more about activating the full embodiment of the wounded healer, meaning we all have a part to play in healing the world, and we all have our own inner healer in the way that we talk, or the way that we support each other, or we all have a gift that we're here to give humanity in the world, and that is fully activating that gift and asking us to step into it, to start helping humanity as things continue to evolve here over the next few years. All right. So let's see. We'll go back into this here. Okay. And then, of course, Mars we have in Scorpio now. So that fiery masculine energy is let's get it. Let's make it happen. And Saturn is now at 0 degrees, all the way back at 0 degrees where it started. So we're learning the final part of the lessons that started to touch base at the beginning of this year, and then it'll go direct next month. So Saturn, of course, is Lord of Karma. So I kind of like when Saturn goes direct, because now it's like, all right, now it gives us a chance to really step into what we've learned in the last 6 months from going retrograde, right? So after that eclipse, we have on the 20th, we have the Sun square Pluto. Of course, leading up to that, we're going to be having other planets squaring to Pluto, Mars in particular, but I believe that's September, not October. So Mars square Pluto, I have that in my natal chart. That's always just very frustrating, angry, maybe being angry at yourself. All the feelings of shortcomings that you haven't created, but it's all just internal stuff that we got to move through. So be careful not to project that energy onto other people. Anything square Pluto, especially at the degree that it's at in Capricorn, is just like everything, all these things that are wrong, and I can't stand it. And I can't, but what are you going to do about it? Are you going to do something that's productive, or are you going to, hurt yourself in the process, or be a part of something that is actually not doing anything positive for the growth, and just expressing your anger in ways that are not getting anything really accomplished? We really got to think about how we're coming together, and not being frivolous about it. So then we have Mercury coming into Scorpio on the 22nd. Then the sun comes into Scorpio on the 23rd. So yay, Scorpio season. Then on the 28th, of course, we have the lunar eclipse at 5 degrees of Taurus. So this is going to be the last eclipse in Taurus. That's kind of shutting down and closing off this this part of the learning experience from that fixed energy, right? And I mean, it's going to be conjunct Jupiter as well. Jupiter's at 11 degrees. So that makes it big. That makes it huge. Very, very huge. In Taurus, we can typically feel this in our physical bodies. Okay, so I'll go over whatever house that's going to be here in a little bit. But right around this time, and again, too, we're going to have Mars conjunct Mercury. Now, whenever Mars conjunct Mercury, it's frustrated communication. It can be anger, you know, and if we're not careful, we can project that anger into places that shouldn't really necessarily be projected into. So you got to be careful about that. All right, just you know, take it slow, take it easy, and don't jump into anything that you think you might regret. Okay, that's really like the big lesson for this month. Because look, the fact is things are going to change. Everything is going to change here this month, and but it's initiating like massive deep changes. This is coming into a new job or a new career. It's coming into a new relationship, or going from just being in a relationship to getting married or having a child, or you know, like big huge shifts like that. So mass migration going on all over the place. So you know, it's important, you know, be around the people, you know, good supportive people that support you. If you're not around that, then get away from it and start over from scratch. A lot of people will be starting over from scratch in a lot of ways right now, and that is okay. All right, it's important to honor yourself if you're not in situations that are not honoring yourself. All right. And of course, you know, let me know if this is if you're resonating with this. Please share in the chat or in the comment section down below. I'd love to know what you guys think or how you're feeling. And starting now, if anybody's watching this and you would be so kind as to put the timestamps in here, that would be awesome. So Aries and Aries rising. Let's see. Pluto is in, of course, your 10th house, and it's squaring the nodes in the first and 7th. So this is all about, you know, you've gone through a lot of changes in your life purpose or career, and your identity and how you relate to others and how you connect those. A lot of clearing out codependency, clearing out, you know, any kind of boundary issues that you might have in relationship to people. But now that we're having this solar eclipse in Libra, this is a new closing off the learned lessons and starting new relationships or creating this is like graduating to a new level when it comes to relationships, while at the same time closing out old ones. And then of course, with the lunar eclipse happening at 5 degrees of Taurus in your 2nd house, this could be money, baby, or getting really busy in a new business venture. I feel like you guys are gonna be starting something big and new. A lot of light workers are going to be getting highly activated here, and finally stepping into this new career, this new this new purpose, and it may have you move or connecting to all these new people. But all this is going to challenge your self-worth. Like, have you done the work? Are you feeling ready? I mean, ready or not, here I come, kind of thing, right? But you can choose to receive it and accept it, or if you let your triggers get the best of you can mess it up. So make sure that you're doing the work here with this Pluto sitting still. But whatever comes up, right? Whatever comes up, let it move through you first, and don't take any preemptive action that might get you, you know, into some kind of trouble. And because you got a lot of beautiful things coming to you through a lot of very powerful relationships, and you know, this is, I feel, very divinely orchestrated. So, you know, the best thing to do, don't try to get ahead of it. Just let it flow, and, you know, approach it one step at a time and believe in yourself, man. That's it. Just believe in yourself. All right. Now, Taurus and Taurus rising. So we have Pluto here in your ninth house. So Pluto in the ninth house, so you've been looking at your belief systems, maybe even, you know, a lot of changes to travel. Yeah, this you could have been even doing a lot of, like, you know, medicine journeys, and you know, because the travel isn't just physical travel, it's also metaphysical travel as well. um the the solar eclipse will be happening in your sixth house. This is your day-to-day life. I mean, you could be starting something new as well. With the lunar eclipse happening in your first house, you know, this is waking up a new version of you, a new like, you're deciding about a new way that you want to come out into the world, a new version that you want to step out into life. You could be starting a new job too, or you could have gone through like some kind of health issue or health crisis, and you're getting healthier now, and you're clearing it out, you're figuring it out, and now you're getting your day-to-day life back in order, and things are starting to flow a little bit better for you, because now you're really starting to believe in yourself more, and this is solidifying those new belief systems, and now the gifts that come from all that work that you've done on yourself is now going to start to show itself. So pat yourself on the back. You've done a lot of hard work. You know, just make sure that there could be a lot of internal turmoil, right? So meditation is going to be huge for you, and being able to really, you know, this T-square between Pluto and the nodes is between your ninth, your 12th, and your sixth house. So this is learning how to let go. This is learning how to not escape. This is learning how to honor what your body needs. So your body, like, if you're doing things that you think you're supposed to be doing, but you're feeling like shit, you know, your body could be saying, not gonna let you do it this time anymore. It's not gonna happen. You're gonna feel too shitty. And you're gonna have to, you know, change it around. But you know, this is like, the more stubborn you are, the more, like, you can go kicking and screaming if you want to, but it ain't gonna matter. Pluto is gonna pull you through whether you like it or not. And you know, so just, you know, check that ego at the door. It'll make life so much better and easier for you. And you get a lot of, you know, like, you're going to be coming out into the world as a new version of yourself, and it's like you're birthing a new version of yourself, right? So you're going to have to get used to a lot of these new things, but it's all positive. It just could feel a little weird. Okay, so hang in there. You got this. I see new beginnings starting for you that are fated too, with Saturn being in your 10th house, you know, like on the cusp, really. Um, you know, Saturn's a little karma. So once Saturn goes direct next month, the beginning of November, you can see new opportunities coming in for your life purpose. All right. So next we have Gemini and Gemini rising. And Gemini, you have Pluto square the nodes in between your 8th, 11th, and 5th houses. So Gemini, 8th house Pluto, that's where Pluto rules. And this is the house of really death and rebirth, or I should say death and taxes. Other people's money, very powerful connections. This is going to be very powerful tests. You could have had, in the last 6 months, you could have had somebody die or experience some, like, hardships when it comes to, like, losing a lot of friends, losing, you know, some family members in some way, shape, or form. But you know, this is made you have to evolve and grow to connect to a deeper part of your inner child, and that connection to the deeper part of your inner child has you creating or having these new creative ideas that make you want to get out into the world, right? So that part, a learning lesson, is coming to an end. And then of course we have the solar eclipse in Libra in the 5th house. So this is a new beginning. Like, this could be new aha moments and sparks of inspiration when it comes to your creativity. And this could, you know, have you, like, dating, having fun, like, you know, finally meeting new people and learning how to have fun again. Or it could have something to do with your children, you know, like something new could be happening there. And this kind of all depends upon how your life has been. But and that is going to be highly dependent upon your perspective. Again, like I talked about earlier, wherever your perspective is at right now from everything that you've gone through, if you can see it as these learned lessons that are making you grow and learn to be able to, you know, step into your highest and best version of yourself, then, you know, great things are going to be happening. And then the lunar eclipse is happening in your 12th house. So with Jupiter there. So you know, lunar eclipse in the 12th house. I mean, any eclipse in the 12th house is never easy. It's never fun because it's literally pulling up like a tidal wave of energy, emotional energy that you're not even consciously aware of. So weird, this could be weird stuff's happening. You're not really sure why you're feeling what, but this is essentially, there is like an energetic snowstorm that you don't even know about, and it's getting like the streets are getting plowed, right? Everything's getting plowed away to make room for this next beginning of this beautiful new creative venture where it's going to be connecting you to a lot of new people. You just have to get out of your own way and let it happen, which is kind of like the general theme for all the signs, really. Get out of your own way and just let the divine, like, connect to the divine. And the more you connect to divine and trust your heart and trust the divine, you stop trying to figure it out. You stop trying to make it happen, and you start living more in the present. In the present moment is where everything happens, right? So trying to figure out the future, I know with all the unknown changes going on right now in the future, it can be pretty difficult. But this is where you're just gonna let go, okay? And good things are on their way. It's just you gotta allow these changes to unfold, okay? So let's go to Cancer and Cancer rising. All right, Cancer, we have Pluto in your 7th house, square the nodes in the 10th and 4th house. So, of course, this has to do a lot with your significant relationships, business partnerships, even open enemies, people like talking shit, in the last 6 months or so, you could have gone through some drama or some shit when it comes to you could have up and moved. You could have gone through a breakup. You could have gone through a major shift or change in your life, depending on your age, like with your parents, your mom and dad. Kind of all depends, but this is a major lesson learned about how you interact in relationships. And it changed the way that you want to live your life, where you feel at home. It changed the way you want to, maybe it changed the way you see what you want your life purpose to be or what you want to do in this world. So that's coming to an end. That's nice. That's solidifying this new place of understanding relationships now. And we're going to have this solar eclipse in your 4th house. And that's a new beginning in your home and family. Now, this also could mean like a new beginning or, a way that you interact with your mom or the women in your family lineage, or even connecting to like, your ancestors in a deeper way. The 4th house also represents like spiritual, connection and, connecting to your ancestors in a spiritual way too, which is, I feel, has been happening a lot as well. So you could be connecting to a whole new version of you as we continue to open up and crack open these deeper layers. You could have some psychic aspects, opening up and learning new parts of yourself that you didn't even know were there before, and that's going to really start to take hold as you step into this new chapter. And then with the lunar eclipse in your 11th house, this could be a combination of meeting new people, seeing new possibilities and opportunities for life purpose, a vision, creating a whole new life based on a whole new understanding of your life and of where you want to go. So big changes happening here because, the 7th, 10th, and 4th houses in and of themselves are massive shakeups and massive changes. And then the 11th house is all the people that you connect with. So based on the changes in your relationships and how you're connecting to your home, like you could have moved somewhere, or, you could have just, canceled out a whole group of people that you hung out with and all these new people that you're hanging out with through this new job. Like, so you switched from being a waitress to doing some network marketing or something. Now you have a network marketing parties at your house and it becomes super successful. Like that's something like that, is most definitely possible. But your heart has to be in it and it's going to feel right to you. Okay. So let's go to Leo and Leo rising. Leo. So we have Pluto in your 6th house with the nodes in your 9th and 3rd house. So this has to do with your day-to-day life, your health, your well-being, and your belief systems and education around that. So I can see this being like getting into a new fitness routine, you know, seeing how you used to believe things had to go a certain way. Maybe like, I know I spent most of my life in the fitness industry and the military. So, you know, I used to believe, I used to follow all these different diets, 12, 15 years ago when I was competing. And, I hired some of the best coaches in the world. I came to realize that, I know my body the best. I understand, what to look for. I just need to discipline myself enough to coach myself. If I have all the information, then I'm good to go. And when I started doing that, I started getting better results. And then I would talk to, some friends that I had that were really good coaches the last week or two before a show. But for the most part, it was just me leading me, because we know our body the best. We don't, if we're relying on somebody else to read our body, especially if they're just like, if they're not doing blood work and they're not, looking at all the details, like this is all that work. Okay. Like something feels off my body, or, like my belief, I'm, I don't believe that I'm worthy, or maybe I feel like I need this outside thing to be like this. And then you realize that this is just messing me up. So I'm going to go ahead and just figure it out on my own and take control, or take charge. I mean, the one thing we can control is what goes into our body, and how hard we work, and all those in our emotions, right? So this is about taking control of things we have control of, and then letting go of the things that we cannot control, and maybe creating some kind of educational system based on that. So with this month, that learning part of stepping in this new place is coming to an end. And with the solar eclipse happening in the third house, this is connecting to new people, learning something new. So in this next 6 months, really, you're going to be learning something new, most likely emotional, about your relationship with yourself. And then with the lunar eclipse in the 10th house, career and life purpose, baby. Like, so putting it into practice for a new life purpose, and set yourself up for success here in this next chapter of your life. Now, I see this kind of, taking its time over the next 6 months until we have the big eclipse on was it April 8th. I just posted a video about the eclipse season, and you can check that out on my YouTube as well. So let's go ahead to Virgo and Virgo rising. And Virgo, so your Pluto was in the 5th house, and it's square the north node in the 8th house and the south node in the 2nd house. So this is all about collaborations with your creative energy. Maybe you had a creative idea, and something went sideways with it. Maybe you collaborated with some people that you were giving your power away to, and you had to learn something about it, and everything fell apart. And you had to go back to doing work you didn't want to do, and now you learned some big lesson from all that. Now that lesson is coming to an end. This could even be like having getting pregnant or having a baby, or birthing a new version of your creative flow. And now with this solar eclipse in your 2nd house, this is birthing a new level of self-worth and self-confidence, and probably bringing an influx of business to you as well. And this business is going to test that level of self-worth and self-confidence. And then, of course, with the lunar eclipse coming in your 9th house, conjunct Jupiter, this is really looking at your belief systems, and seeing, like, where am I believing that I'm not worth it? Where am I believing that I need help outside of myself, when it's really just, I just have to have the discipline and the belief in myself to do it, right? So this is going to be what's initiating and taking place here over the next 6 months. And, I can say you're probably going to get pretty busy. Going to be a lot of work coming in for you. So that's good, and let that really build and help activate your self-worth, because you got this, dude. Like, you got this. Just keep doing what you love, and keep showing up for yourself. Things are gonna be all right. Okay. Let's see here. Libra and Libra rising. So Libra, this is going to be a big month for you. We have Pluto in the 4th house with the node squaring the first. So this is kind of inverse to Aries, of course. So this has to do with home and family. Where in the last 6 months, you've had a big reality check about your identity in relationship to where you want to live, what makes you feel at home, the type of people that you want to surround yourself with, who you are in relationship to the world, and learning how to be interdependent in relationships. So any kind of codependent nature is going to be getting called out, and learning how to stand on your own 2 feet, but also be interdependent in relationships and surrounding yourself with the right people so that you can create a new home within yourself. And whatever lessons that you had to learn, that's finishing up now. And now this solar eclipse is going to happen in the first house of a rebirth of your identity. This is really coming in, understanding, okay, I learned these lessons, don't want to have to learn them again. This is who I'm going to be. Now I know where my belief systems stand. Now I know who I am. And then, of course, the lunar eclipse is at the end of the month. It's going to be happening in the 8th house. And this is about connecting to other people, right? This could be good for collaborative efforts, but this could also be really digging your intuition into a deeper level. Now, other things can be come up with like taxes and like forms, from the last 6 months or whatnot. You may have to deal with some of that kind of money stuff. But overall, this is really like an ending and a new beginning, and collaborative efforts for something that, in the last 6 months, you really saw that you want to do, but it just wasn't the right circumstances. Now it's time to really start that up. Okay. So let's see, Scorpio and Scorpio rising. Oh, that's a little too far. Scorpio, let's see. We have Pluto in your 3rd house, square the south node in the 12th and the north node in the 6th. So this is learning a new way to live your day-to-day life. So in the last 6 months, you've been learning, seeing like, okay, I need to eat like this. I need to, get my sleep together. I need to stop distracting myself. I need to get my day-to-day life in order so I can optimize my energy and optimize my productivity, right? And you're learning how to do this in a new way by letting go of all this stuff in the 12th house, right? Of distractions, dissociations, dictions, like all these things that are kind of stuck in the unconscious mind, that really are not serving you. And then at the end of the month, when we go into the lunar eclipse, it's happening in your 7th house of marriage, partnerships, relationships. Could be open enemies too, but what I'm feeling more is that you getting your shit together is really getting your energy aligned, and this energetic alignment is going to bring in someone great for you, someone that is also energetically aligned, because now you brought yourself into that place. Okay, so good job, good for you. And this could be something that is gonna last the test of time. But remember, this is a birthing process, so there's still a lot to learn. There's still energy is moving pretty slow, so take it easy, take it slow, one step at a time. All right. So let's go to Sag and Sag rising. And Sag, we have Pluto in your 2nd house, with it squaring the north node, the 5th house, and south node, the 11th house. So this is taking a look at pattern, and this is in the last 6 months. Remember, this is the work that you do, the money that you make based on the work that you do. This is your self-worth, self-confidence, and this is square to south node being the 11th house. This is like old life, old work, old vision, old understanding of where your life was, may still be here, but it's clearing away, it's going away, and we're moving towards a more creative, fun, like learning how to just have fun and let that creative flow of the inner child come through, and let that be the new version of how we make money. And stepping into the confidence and knowing that we can actually make a living in that way through just being our inner child and being our creative self. This could also be fitness too, getting that fitness routine in, and also this could be children. So all of these different things, whatever applies to you in that sense. But that lesson is coming to an end this month, and now the solar eclipse is happening in the 11th house. There's a new beginning, bringing in new people, like or a new vision of what you want to create, bring in new people when it comes to like networking and connecting. And then, of course, the lunar eclipse at the end of the month is happening in the 6th house, conjunct Jupiter. So this is like a new day-to-day lifestyle. This is changing up into a whole new lifestyle. So you could be moving. You could be just all the changes that you're making with all the people that are in your world, or whatever it is that you're doing for work, is going to be shifting in ways that you need to shift your day-to-day life, and you're going to have to adjust and make that, make those uncomfortable yet necessary and actually exciting adjustments, because this is actually bringing you what you really want. So, and remember, this is a birthing process, so it's going to unfold here over the next 6 months. So, Capricorn and Capricorn rising. Of course, we have Pluto in the 1st house here, with the North Node in the 4th house and the South Node in the 10th house. So again, similar to Aries, I mean, all the cardinal signs, this is getting hit like this. So Pluto, in the last 6 months, you've been going through a massive rebirthing of your identity, of who you are and how you bring yourself out in the world. And you've been letting go of ideas, or I feel like a level of your life purpose of who you've been here out in the world, and finding a new layer of home, really, I feel, of self-confidence and trust in the universe of who you are meant to be birthed into this new version of who you are. And, now Pluto is coming to the end of that lesson. And now this solar eclipse is going to be happening in the 10th house, a new beginning in your life purpose. I feel like we're elevating here. We're coming to a new like tax bracket, like a whole new, like a bigger purpose. And we were playing too small before. Now it's time to really play in the playground that we were always meant to. But we had to move through some self-worth issues, some self-confidence stuff. We had to, we had to get ourselves aligned in the proper way. And the North Node in the 4th house is believing in ourselves, coming home to our roots, and becoming more grounded in the version that we now are. And of course, the eclipse happening at the end of the month is going to be happening in the 5th house of a new creative idea. I feel like this is gathering the right people and resources and circumstances with this huge aha moment or epiphany that's going to jumpstart this new project or idea, or maybe take forward something that you've been working on. And this whole new creative idea is going to actually really launch this time. And really beautiful things are going to happen, especially once Pluto goes into Aquarius. That's when Pluto kind of takes its feet off of our neck, me being a Capricorn. That's going to lighten up the energy, and we're going to just have so much more energy to just like make it happen and let life run. Okay. So very exciting time for the Capricorns. We're almost there, guys. Okay, just to the end of the year, like this is the beginning. So I think this is the light at the end of the tunnel, where this new life is just waiting for us. And we got to stop trying to push it, stop trying to make it happen, and just allow it to unfold. Okay, so Aquarius and Aquarius rising, we have Pluto in your 12th house, and that's square to the South Node in the 9th house and the North Node in the 3rd house. So Pluto in the 12th house is never easy. This is where a lot of unconscious karmic debts are being paid off. This is where we attract a lot of very intense people unconsciously to teach us very intense lessons. I know a few people that have this natally, and they also have a very deep impact on the people that they connect with. So with this being square, this is really letting go of old belief systems that are no longer serving, and learning new ways to be, maybe even through learning new ways to be, creating a new educational source, or getting a lot of education yourself in order to teach. Like, this is like the student that is becoming the teacher through being a student. Right? It's like you're being a student and a teacher at the same time. Okay. Now, also with the South Node hitting the 9th house, this is just a lot about shedding old belief systems, clearing out old ways of being. So that's very, very powerful. You may have been feeling some despair, or like, when is this going to be done? Along with Capricorn, you too, because Pluto will be moving to Aquarius. It's going to shift the dynamics of the energy big time. So I think you're going to appreciate that energy as well. And then the lunar eclipse at the end of the month will be happening in your 4th house, coming home to self. All right, this could also be like a shift or a change in your connection with your mother or your lineage. It's actually be, or you could be activating a whole new layer of your psychic abilities and psychic gifts, especially with Pluto there in the 12th house. We definitely cracking you open. So I wouldn't be surprised about that. Just let it flow, let it go and let it flow. Okay. So last, but certainly not least, we have Pisces here. In Pisces, you have Pluto in the 11th house, square to the south node, the 8th house, the north node in the 2nd house. So you have been going through a transformational process in this last 6 months about the way that you're making your money, your self-worth and self-confidence with the people that you're dealing with, and letting go. Like you may have been betrayed or like screwed over by people that you're working with. Maybe people were saying that, you know, we're going to do one thing or, you know, or and then they do another or not. Like something was just off with whoever it is that you're working with or dealing with. And also this is like bumping up the level of your intuition too, especially if there was some betrayal involved. This could be literally transforming your whole community that you like. I'm feeling a lot of work with this, like a lot, like your vision of what you want to do with the world may have changed or shifted, or maybe, you know, like you love what you did, but the people around you were all scandalous and not very good people. And that made you have to figure out or get creative about doing new things. But, you know, this is building up your self-confidence and self-worth to step into this new place. And that whole lesson is all over now. And now with this solar eclipse in the south node, that's like ending the cycle of any kind of betrayal or any kind of lesson you had to learn in the 8th house. Is also a death and rebirth. So, you know, whenever I see a significant eclipse in the 8th house like this, the south node, you could have someone dear to you that passes away. I mean, that happened to me 2 years ago, lunar eclipse in my 8th house, and my childhood best friend. I went home to Massachusetts, and the day after I got there, he was in ICU in a coma, and he died. So that kind of stuff can happen, unfortunately, but you know, that's all. You got to go through the grieving process, and it just, when you start to really experience, you know, death like that, you realize that, you know, there's a bigger plan out there, and death is just a gateway to another world, and you create a new relationship with death, and you don't let it, you don't hold on to it, you know, you allow it to be okay, because you really don't have any other choice. But with the lunar eclipse here coming to the 3rd house, this could be, you know, you're starting to learn something new based on all this experience you've had in the 6th house. You're learning something new, and again, student teacher vibes, like you're learning something new to create something new, or this could be learning something new about yourself, about maybe whatever happened here in the last 6 months stimulated some kind of new idea about your vision of what you want to do to create in this world. And now that is coming out, you know, in a deeper way. And now you want to take everything that you learned and turn it into helping other people so that they don't have to go through what you went through. All right. So that's what I got for you for the month of October. If you resonated with this, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. And also, if you'd like a reading for me, please go to the comment section below. I have a link right there, so you can contact me, or go to my Instagram at spiritual_bodybuilder, and you go to my Linktree and you can schedule there, or just leave me a comment here or my Instagram, and I'll respond. One way or another, you can get a hold of me, and I'll get back a hold of you and make it happen. All right. Until then, I'll see you on the next one. Aho.